Alright guys, today I'm going to be doing the first episode of the Miles and Mindsets, and today I only have 3 points because I'm going to start off with just myself, and then I'll kind of get people into it, I'll have Asher next time, might have Landon Jonas on here soon, might have Hayden Pretty, a few other guys, but yeah, so the only 3 points today I'm going to go over with is race anxiety, kind of what to do with that and how to, counteract it, handle it. Flipping the script on certain things, different things that are going to happen during your training, during your racing, stuff like that. And then dealing with the setbacks that you get when you get them, because everyone have them. It just depends on what you get. So, the first thing, right, is race anxiety is going to affect everyone, no matter who you are. You could be 17 flat guy going for 16:30 or 17 flat guy going for certain placement, or you could be a 15 flat guy that's third going into state meet trying to get first. Everyone's going to get a little bit of anxiety, you know what I mean? But it's how you handle it, and different people can handle it different ways. It's just about how much more mature you are to handle it in a different way. So right when you're getting anxiety before a race, or maybe even before a big workout, your nerves and your body are psychologically, they're telling you that your body is ready to go do this hard thing, the race or the workout. Say it's a mile repeats that are really fast, you've never done that, something like that. They're telling you your body is ready to go, but it's how you let the nerves kind of affect you overall to whether it makes or breaks what you're doing. So for an example, say you have race anxiety going to your state meet. If you keep telling yourself my body is telling me I'm ready to go, I'm excited, then when you go into the race, you're not nervous. You're confident, you're about to go, you're I'm ready to rip this, let's go. You're gonna end up running faster. Whereas say for example, my freshman year in cross country, I would always run scared. I'd be before a race, and I could feel the nerves, right? But I didn't say I was getting excited and stuff. I would be oh, I'm nervous, I don't want to mess this up. Maybe I shouldn't take the risk of going out at this pace or going out with this guy or whatever. I kind of run scared, and you're just in a mediocre time or placement or whatever. You just have to and this will kind of get into the next point, you kind of have to flip the script on what you're doing, right? And not just be okay, this is the only right way to look at it, because that's how I used to be. And I had to have multiple people tell me over and over, hey, you can flip what what your mind is thinking, and it can completely change the whole thing of running. For an example, or in my opinion, running is, I would say, 70% mental and 30% physical, right? Because say this, for example, you could be in shape to run 15:30, but if your mental is completely locked, you could run a 16:30. You know what I mean? And that happens all the time. People don't know they have the potential of running 15:30 because their mind is just messing them up, and they think, oh, I need to train harder. I used to make that mistake in track. I need to train harder. This is not working. This, some things actually just don't work, but you just kind of judge that off of how much more knowledge you have in the sport. But then I finally realized, I was why do I keep trying to change training over and over when I'm not trying to think of mental first and then go from there on training? Because I knew I was fit. I could do long runs at low sixes, stuff like that. I could do mile repeats. If you just asked me to do them consistently with slight rest, I could do that type of stuff. But it was my mental when I got in the race that I was I don't want to fall off. I don't want to try this risk. And that is what leads the race anxiety or the workout anxiety to making you just not perform in your best. And then people start to realize oh, maybe the sport isn't for me, or maybe this training isn't for me. And sometimes that is the case. Most of the time it's if you're struggling mentally and you're not kind of, focusing on that, and you just kind of have to focus on everything as a whole, right? Think of it like this, right? If you're cutting out a pizza, right? You're cutting out the pizza and you cut it into 4 slices, right? Or just say 2 slices, right? And say you have 3 friends over, right? 2 friends are going to take the one half of the pizza, right? And because you're oh, I'm really hungry, I want this half, right? But if you take just that big half, then the other 2 friends have to slightly share the other half of the pizza, and then they're not getting as much equal portion as you're getting, right? So the same thing goes for running. If you're focusing more on more on the side of physical, then the mental, you're not getting the equal portions, and then you're going to fall off on the place you don't really think you're going to fall off in, right? So it's kind of like a rant. That probably wasn't that good of an analogy, but I was trying to figure it out. And then, so for the flipping the script, right, you have to kind of flip it on like what things are going to happen, what type of conditions there are, what people say, or like how something is going, right? But if you can flip it, right, you end up having like an actual superpower over people. That's what I like to like a little superpower. So like, right, I can't draw on a whiteboard, but I'll kind of try to do more analogies. But so say like even ifs are great practice for this, right? So say like you're going into a race, say it's like 40 degrees and it's storming in a cross-country race. That's pure cross-country for you. But say it's like pure muddy and you thought this was going to be the day you go for that PR, but you get out there and you're like, holy crap, like this sucks, you know what I mean? Or say for example it's a track meet and like there's no rain, you think, oh, it's going to be a great race, and then it gets up to like 90 degrees for your race, right? It's just not the ideal conditions, but you have to learn how to deal with it and flip the script on it, right? So either one can be used, right? I'll kind of use both of the examples I gave. But so say for like on the race that it's hard, right, with the mud and all that, you're on the line, you're kind of nervous, but you're trying to get excited, you know, kind of with the race anxiety, kind of go hand in hand. If you think about it before you're going into the race, just be like, okay, even if like it doesn't stop raining and it keeps picking up and it's getting muddier and it's muddier than I thought on the course, and even if I don't feel as good when I'm out there, even if that happens, I have the gift to run. I've been training for forever. Everyone else here has to deal with it. That's a big one. Everyone else has to deal with it. It's not just me. And I should be thankful for the opportunity to run here, because not a lot of people can do that, right? Think about like the disabled people. I'm sure they wish, oh, I could go out for a run or I could go out for a walk, right? But that's just, they don't get that opportunity, right? So you should be thankful for the opportunity you have, and then use that to kind of motivate you. Like, even if this happens, I'm still going to be fine, right? Because I can get out here and do this. Or like in the track when it's hot, right? Say like, oh, I'm going to go for a PR, but it's kind of hot, I don't really want to do that. Everyone has to deal with the heat. It's not just like, oh man, the heat is just only on me, right? It's how people deal with the heat. Like this year in sectionals for track for me, I got second in sectionals. I truly think it was more of a mental race. It was probably, feels like of 85 to you Florida boys. That's probably not that bad. The UV, I want to say it was 9. It might have been 8. It was hot. I mean, me and my friend had to cut our warm up like in half and stuff just because we didn't want to overheat before the race, right? So I got out there and I was like, okay, even if the track feels hotter and the heat feels like it's more blaring, everyone has to deal with this, and I've made it here. I've trained since December for this race and the next race coming up, and I want to make it to the next race coming up. So I need to be strong in the mental part of it, right? And not just like, oh, I'm going to go out physical and just wing it, right? You have to stay in the mental mind, so then when it gets hard, you're like, okay, I've prepped this. And like if you meditate on your race before, like sometimes I'll just be sitting in my tent and like thinking about the conditions or whatever. I'll just meditate on it, right? And I'll be like, okay, like this is going on, but I'm fit enough and my mental is fit enough too to deal with what is going on, and I'm not just gonna kind of like cower down into a little ball and not like perform the best, right? And obviously everyone's not gonna perform the best all the time, but you have to kind of deal with it on the fly and not just like be too scared and run scared. You know what I mean? Because when you run scared is when you get in trouble. When you run confident and kind of just like, some people won't like this analogy, when you run big balls, you know what I'm saying? Like you just go out there and do it, then that is when you like achieve your best potential. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, those two go hand in hand. This third one's kind of like by itself, but I thought I'd kind of add it in here just to get 3 like, you know, easy ones off the go. So my other one is dealing with the setbacks you have, right? So for me, you know, an example was I had this heart thing, right? Sophomore year, cross country, going regionals, it was going good. Coach was like, you know, all we need is everyone run decent, we'll go to state, right? I go out like 5:05, kind of, obviously you're not going for time, but I was just feeling it out, right? I was like, okay, the sub 16 pace, I feel good. Come about a mile and a half, and I just fall over, right? And I passed out a little bit, right? They said I was fine. I went to the doctor, got these like scans and all that. Turned out I had like an electrical pathway, right, in my heart. And so they were saying like you can't race state for cross country. If you do, it's possible like something worse can happen, and you know that's just the end. And so I was like that was a pretty hard hit, you know. It was like a punch in the face. And I was like, okay, I'll sit this one out, right? So I gave my teammate, you know, I was like, you know, bro, you got this opportunity, go out there and seize it, you know what I mean? And so I don't know, I was just so fed up for so long because that one race, and the one race didn't even really matter that much in the overall picture. And I was just fed up over and over and over. And I realized when you get more fed up, you're digging yourself in a hole, right? So think you're standing on ground zero, right? You get a setback, right? And say you get frustrated, right? You're digging the hole and you're just like, oh, this sucks. Like, I'm mad. Like, why do I have this setback? Like, I just wanted to run this time. You're just digging the hole, right? You're getting down and down and down. You don't have a ladder to climb back up, though, until you realize what really was wrong. After the setback, you're like, okay, if you eventually realize, you're like, okay, it was just the mental that I let get the best of me. Like, the setback I can't control. I can control how I think about it, though, right? So say like after that you're like, okay, even if I have the setback, I can use it to prepare me to jump ahead, or like, you know, jump forward and stay motivated in training, right? And then you kind of start to build the rings of a ladder, right? That's how I like to say it. So like, I can use this setback to stay motivated. I can use the setback to, you know, encourage teammates. I can use this setback to learn more things about myself as an athlete, right? You start building the rings, and then you start climbing up the rings back to ground zero, and then you're right back where you were, and then you just keep getting motivated. You just keep going, right? It's like an incline. Just keep going up the hill, keep going up the incline. And so, or like from my friend here at Elevation Camp, right? He was telling me how he had mono for like a whole season, whole track season, and a whole cross country season, but he still ran pretty decent, right? He just didn't let it get the best of him. So you just kind of have to like sit in it. And whenever you have a setback, you sit in the moment, right? And you think about it. But you don't sit in it for so long where you kind of sag in it and like go down, if that makes sense. You sit in it and you're like, okay, like this is what happened. I just have to go out. I just have to deal with it. And like, I can't control it. This is like the cards I've been dealt. I just have to play my hand, and I just have to wait until I get new cards from the dealer. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I kind of think of it. So you just kind of have to stay in there, and you just use it. And like, even if you don't have like the best season, right? You have like one bad season, or like use one season to kind of get back into it. That's kind of what I did for my sophomore track. After my heart thing, I was still fighting the mental, but I was kind of just like going slightly up, you know. And it's still this year too. That's what I was kind of doing. It's because of how deep of a hole I got dug in. But once you slowly reach up to it, and like I hit ground zero probably finally my state track race this year. So now I'm about to be going into junior year, and now I'm like completely hyped out of my mind, you know what I mean? So just don't dig yourself in such a deep of a hole where you're running scared, you're not running confident, and just like you just don't like it overall. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you told me a year and a half ago that I would be at this point sitting here talking about this, I would genuinely ask you like what you're on, because like a year and a half ago, I wanted to quit the sport. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was so fed up, and I was like, why does this happen to me? Like, I had the best freshman track season. I went to New Balance, all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then like all this stuff, right? But when you realize that like you're digging yourself into a hole, you can kind of use the teammates also to help you work back up into it, you know what I mean? So like for me this year, our team in cross country, we won as a team for state. Never done that before in school history, right? And so I realized, I was like, if I focus on the team aspect, right, it helps the team get better, but it also helps me get better as a person, right? And so I was like, this is helping me dig out of the mental hole, and I'm not just sitting in it, but like, oh, we're state champs, you know? Oh, that helped me improve as a mental. I'm not running scared, you know what I'm saying? And you're just kind of gradually going up. It's like a curve. what is it called in math? Exponential curve? I don't know. I'm retarded. It's like that. You know what I'm saying? Linear, whatever. One of y'all know. One of you nerds, bro. Comment it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I hope these 3 things kind of helped you guys. I just want to do a short one today before I kind of bring people on here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've been meaning to launch this for a while. I've just been pretty busy, and I've just been planning out the script. I keep looking down and up because I have the script planned and stuff. I just wanted it to be more professional, you know what I mean? And I just hope that, like, I can grow this to, like, spread the knowledge of what I've learned, because I think I've learned it the pretty hard way. I'm not gonna lie. People have definitely learned it harder than me, but I think I've learned pretty hard, and I just want to share it so people don't mess up the same way I did, and they just keep going up the hill. You know what I'm saying? Keep working. It's not gonna, and nothing's gonna end. Like, don't focus too much on one bad thing or one best thing. That's also a big thing. Don't, say you're a PR 1630, right? And you go out and you run 15:59. Oh yeah, I'm hyped. Like, yeah, this is so good. But don't be harping on that for like a year. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, then that's kind of when you also dig yourself into a hole of, I have too much pride and I have too much ego that I can't go anywhere after this. Like, I'm just going to sit at 15:59, and I am not giving myself the potential to move to 15:45 or 15:50, something like that, like little small jumps, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot more to say, but just those 3 things. If you can deal with those 3 things, and if you think about them, and what I do is I journal every day. If you journal about those things, if you're struggling with any of them, it'll help just putting it on paper. And like, I'll go back and I'll like look at stuff every once in a while and be like, okay, like I was dealing with this here, I improved it, or like, man, I was a little bit worse on this day, or stuff like that. You just have to slowly improve them all, and then eventually it's gonna all add up. Like, the little things all add up, right? Like, brick by brick, it's gonna build a whole house, right? Maybe the brick by brick takes you 4 years. Maybe the bricks don't make a full house until senior year or whatever. Maybe it doesn't help you until 1 year later. Like, you just have to slowly build them all, and then it's gonna all add up. But yeah, so drop a comment, drop a follow, let me guys know let me know how you guys like this, what I should change, what I should talk about next. But yeah, I'm hoping I can get Asher on the next one. If not, it's going to be either Hayden, Landon, or one of my friends. But yeah, I'll let you guys know about that. I'll probably post on my story. But I hope you guys like this one. And yeah.